Alrighty, let's get this going. I gotta get a tea. If we're gonna be cozy and yapping, there must be tea. Alrighty. I think we just start with what's going on. I think I'm gonna sell everything I own and buy a bus. It's something I've talked about since I was like 18, and I always thought it was more of a joke where I was like, I'm gonna go to California and I'm gonna live in a bus. And I thought, even when I said it at 18, I'm like, comma, maybe. And the older I get, all the shit that I was saying I was gonna do when I was 18 just keeps happening. And it's amazing. It's super cool. So I just have been, this whole year has been so transformative. I feel like a completely different person than at the beginning of 2025. And it's only August. This year has been insane. And it's not the external, well, kind of both, but mainly the energy. The energy is so potent right now. Somehow the sun is reflecting from my tea and like blinding me. Oh, yes, we have a stray cat. I fed her once, and now she'll never leave. Would you like to talk to the people? What more do you need to know, really? But yeah, so I think we're gonna sell everything. We currently live in like a very small town. I think it's not even a town. I think it's considered a village. We currently live in a village. It's a tiny, tiny town. We have one cafe and one post office. And honestly, so this is the first home that my husband and I have ever lived in, or our first home that we bought. We had rented one place before this, but it's been such a sacred landing spot for us, and it's become such a comfort blanket for us, and all of the healing that needed to happen, I think needed to happen here. It was very consistent and just good energy. It was a perfect place for healing. And at the same time, it never felt like forever. And back in April, I think I did a podcast, a short podcast, kind of like recapping my trip to California. And that was in April. And so since April, since getting back from California, something has just been different. We've been talking since then about moving or like selling the house, but we don't want another house. And this may sound crazy, but it's not that we have a big house. Our house is not big, it's not fancy, we don't have a big yard. I just don't feel like I need so much. I feel like it was really, really great. And then it kind of, the tables started to tip a little bit, where now, now it's like, why would I work? Why would I be gone from the home for 40 hours a week and then just to pay for the home that I only get to enjoy part of the time and not be able to do and see everything else? It just feels like we've come to this point where the home, like, we don't need so much. It's not worth working so much to have more space than you need to just fill the space with shit you don't need. That's how it's been feeling for us. And so we started talking like maybe we'll move, maybe we'll do the bus thing. We've gone back and forth and we weren't really sure what we were going to do, but something has just clicked lately where we just don't have anything holding us here. We don't have, I mean, we have family and I love my family to death. And that is something like if we do this bus, we're definitely going to be back a lot because I'm very involved. We are both very involved with my family. Um, and so, like, we do have beautiful, supportive connections here. And at the same time, I just think there's so much more. There's so much more than just getting your house and staying put in the one small town that you've always known, in the area that you've always been in. It's just too consistent. I'm ready to expand, and it took me a long time to get to that point because I had to learn to be more comfortable within myself. Home for a long time I viewed as a very external thing. I was only safe if I was home. That's how I felt when back in the anxiety days where I needed to be home to be able to handle. I needed a consistent container to be able to face what I needed to face within. And now I have learned to dance with all that is within, all that exists in a beautiful way. And so I think we're expanding to this place where it was what we needed for that time. And it's been really, really beautiful. And now it's time for something else. Living the creative life. It's fucking wild. It's insane because it's like you have no idea what you're doing, but you're also so tuned in that you fully trust what you're doing. And my husband and I are both in that space. He is a musician. He is absolutely amazing. His band is so good. Yes, I'm biased, but I would say if it wasn't. But the music and the art that he creates and the guys in his band create is like, it's not even music, it's magic. It's so good. And so following that and then following my heart's passion of all of it. How do you even, you can't put yourself in a box. And I think that's honestly, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, where we have yoga, we have the podcast, we have vlogs, we have so many different things because we as humans consist of so many different aspects. We aren't meant to show up in one version of ourselves for our entire life. We have so many different interests and so many different things to be explored and so many gifts to offer the world. I think we just get scared because it's vulnerable and it's uncomfortable. And you don't want people to think you're weird. Guess what? Being weird is the best. The weirder, the better. When you get weird, the weird people find you, and then shit gets good. So, yeah, lots of change. And I'm a person that loves change. I always have. I move very, very quickly in life. I am always changing what I'm doing, I'm always expanding. I'm one of those people that I like to move really quickly, which then sometimes results in things not always working out. But that's how it works for me. I would rather try a bunch of different things and one thing work and then I use that to pivot in my favor. And that is just how I approach life. I genuinely, wholeheartedly believe that everything is working for me not against me. Life is happening for me. And so whatever happens, I view it as a gift. And then I use that to pivot to put me where I want to be. And so that's just how I don't feel afraid. I'm like, I could sell everything tomorrow and I'm excited and it feels good. So I love change, and I am getting into astrology just a little bit. My cousin is super into it, super knowledgeable, and she's really been like, she sent me this note and I printed it off, and it was 20 pages of my birth chart. Most accurate thing I've ever read in my life. It was crazy. And a lot of it was talking about how, like, I am a very expansive person, and I do, I have to be grounded. I mean, most people are that way, I suppose, where you can't expand without having a foundation to expand on. And so I'm like a very expansive homebody. I really like to have my rituals. I like to have my space. And I don't mean like big space, just a one place where I can crash that feels safe and comfortable and feels like it is mine. And I really like to have that. And then I can expand. But I don't want to expand in any ways that don't feel real or in any ways that don't come from authenticity. And so I think that's why the bus is coming at this time now and not at any other time. It is the divine timing, it is the perfect plan, it is all perfectly unfolding in the most beautiful way that it could. And so I just feel really excited. And I say all of this like we haven't done anything yet. We are supposed to go look at a bus. We'll see. But we're not even sure. Do we want a van, a bus, a shuttle? I don't know. And I feel like I'm at this point where I'm shedding so much of what I had held on to for so long. And I'm just really tapping into what feels real and natural, and really diving into a life that feels better than it looks, because I definitely spent a lot of time having things or portraying life in a way that looked good externally. And I've touched on that in my other podcasts, like going to college to get a master's degree. Now looking back, I think that was for my ego. That wasn't really for me to have a life that felt good. I think it was me getting that external validation. And so I'm just really diving into a life that feels good, even if it's not aesthetically pleasing every day. But that's where we're at. Everybody that I've talked to here recently is really, I just feel like there's change happening in so many different people's lives and in so many different ways. And there's a lot of alignment happening. And it's so interesting to see and be a part of and be tapped into. So I'm really enjoying this space. And maybe it's just this phase of life. I don't know. I can't speak to how anybody else feels, but just like talking with my close people, I think we're all kind of experiencing this expansiveness, and it's really exciting. It's so exciting. So I don't know. We went to California twice this year. I had never been. And then I went with, we went with my parents for a concert, and just seeing, like, I'm a Midwest girly. I am from I am from Ohio. I currently live in Ohio. Um, and I've been to different beaches and things like that, but it's always been a very tropical scene, which I absolutely love. And besides cornfields and the tropics, I hadn't seen much else. And so seeing California, and in one trip we were in, even in one day, we woke up in the desert, went to the top of the mountain and saw my uncle who lives in the cutest little town, and then drove down and we were walking on the beach that night. And I was just like, why are we in Ohio? Why are we looking at the same thing every day? I just feel like there's so much more that life has to offer, and I'm doing my life a disservice by staying in the same place. So I think it's going to be very uncomfortable. I think it would be a really big change going from living in a whole house to downsizing. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I just want to see what's out there. And I don't want to work my life away. I don't want to work more than I live just to afford shit I don't need. I'm really into this bringing it all down, this very shedding phase right now where just shutting it all down, less is becoming more for sure. And so I'm just diving into what does that look like for me and, my husband and I, what does that look like for us? So, well, I'll have to take you guys along for the journey. But a lot's about to change. This feels like a very pivotal point in my life. Feels like just it's been building. I remember at the beginning of this year, I did a ton of journaling. And I journal not every day, but very consistently. But I'm just saying, I remember when journaling in the beginning of the year, in that winter season, that heavy season, I was like, I don't feel ready to expand. I felt very ungrounded actually. Coming out of winter and into spring this year, I felt kind of lost and very ungrounded. And at the same time, I've just been writing. I'm like, I know something big is coming. I can feel it, that I am preparing, and the world or God or universe or whatever you want to call it is preparing me so that I can show up when it's time for this change. And so, not that I think I'll ever be fully ready, but I think I am ready to say goodbye to this chapter of life that I've become really comfortable in, because I'm not interested in a life of comfort. I like comfortable moments. I'm interested in being comfortable within myself. I'm not interested in a comfortable life. I'm not interested in a stagnant life. I'm not interested in a life without growth and without change. We're not meant to be the same. We're not meant to do the same thing every day for our whole lives, our whole existence. So, these hoverflies are really getting me. I recently found out that they're called hoverflies. I called them sweat bees, and then I was told I was wrong a lot by a lot of people. So, no. She is cute though. I'll miss her. Maybe I'll tell the people who buy our house they have to feed her and love her. She has a place on her porch that she sleeps. She's a cutie. Alrighty, folks. If you're feeling this energy and this change, I want to know. I want to know if it's something in the air or what's going on. So keep me posted. Thanks for hanging out.